witnesses, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the prosecution witnesses have turned into defense-friendly witnesses. Let the whole case play out, and the jury, I'm sure, has been instructed, don't rush to judgment. You got to wait to hear the whole case. The defense is going to put on a lot of witnesses, namely Amber Guyger. I mean, they told you, you're going to hear from Amber, and she's going to give you a step-by-step account of what happened, and let's reserve judgment on whether the jury's going to like her or not until we hear from her on the witness stand.
Susan writes, Vinny, I believe Amber was in shock. I've witnessed trained nurses that made life and death errors that called for help and couldn't render aid due to completely falling apart, and yet saying I'm done, I've ruined my career. People are human, not robots. They err in judgment. They call a trusted friend, boyfriend, husband, family member. Amber needed reassurance and empathy. She realized the gravity of her mistake. Judge Susan is feeling some compassion for Amber Guyger.
Listen, everybody feels compassion for everybody because we're all humans. Empathy is normal. But to then, that is not enough, in my opinion, to justify what got us here, to say that it's okay that she goes home. It's just not.
Diane writes, what stood out for me was that while she was texting her boyfriend while on the call to 911, she has the presence of mind to multitask a phone call and a text, yet not know she had entered the wrong apartment. That's the first twist on that I've heard, and that's actually a great argument that Diane makes.
Diane's argument is you can look at that one of two ways. Anyone who ever almost fell asleep behind the wheel, you kind of nod off. This happened to everybody here, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Notice how much more awake you are when you almost have that accident.
Now you're adrenaline.
Yeah, you're wide awake. So that could explain why now she had the presence of mind to do all this multitasking because now she's fully alert. She's done something that has shot a big dose of adrenaline into her brain.
If she's fully alert, she should have been fully alert, sitting next to, comforting the dying man, helping the dying man. I mean, rendering aid. She should have been fully alert.
Well, let's take it back further than there. When you realize that you think somebody else is in your apartment and you decide to pull out your gun, that's the highest adrenaline rush you're going to have while this is going on, because your adrenaline and your senses are keener. So that's why I disagree with you about the whole tunnel vision, because your senses are keener. You notice everything around you, and you've decided, I got to pick up my gun, I got to pull out my gun, and I gotta take it out, and I gotta aim, fire, and shoot. Like doing all this happened in 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
That goes totally against the theory of force science, and there's a book written on that, force science, and how your brain works in a situation where you're confronted with what you believe to be a threat. All sorts of things happen to us that are just unexplainable. They're not a normal situation, like the tunnel vision, like the selective attention. There's a lot of things that our brains go through when we're under that heightened stress. When you walk into an apartment which you thought was yours, and you see a person who should not have been there, and he's getting up, walking towards you.
Julia, I think she was irresponsible by not identifying herself and not assessing the situation. She could have taken control and avoided killing an innocent man. The moment she realized she was in the wrong apartment, she could have tried CPR or first aid while she was calling 911. Instead, she was texting her beau. Guilty, says Julia. Todd, I'll let you respond to Julia. And how about just not a